Hey everybody, it's Chrissy from Chrissy's Beautiful Life here for SpiegelMom Scraps, and this is my first video back as a sparkler on the SpiegelMom Scraps YouTube channel. Today I'm going to go ahead and work with this already pre-cut file and do a few things to it. So my first idea here was just to use, these are like waves, scallops or whatever, but I'm making them as waves. And my idea here was to mist them and then use those to create a layout and then add in sequins underneath, which you'll see in a minute. So what I do first is just take 3 or 4 mists that I have from my stash. Most of them are Shimmer's products, and there is one that is a distressed oxide spray as well. And I just kind of randomly squirt, no rhyme or reason, but just because obviously the ocean isn't all one color, so just, you know, different colors there. And then I'm backing this, and I wanted to use a piece of pattern paper. However, I'm not really loving putting the waves on top of the pattern paper. If it's kind of blending in a little too much, it's a little too much for my eye. So I'm going to go ahead and take that away. And instead what I come up with is doing a white piece of pattern paper like you can see there. And I'm going to add in 3 shaker pockets, 2 stitched waves with sequins, and then the other 2 are just going to be regular stitching. I had also planned to use this Sun, Sand, and Surf. That was going to be my title for this layout. However, you will see in the end that it doesn't really work with my finished color scheme because I do go in with some other color. Like I'm using these bluey colors, and it's not going to work. Anyways, this was a labor of love. So when I go to do a big stitching project like this, so this is my second one that I've done this month, and it's not like it's a simple process. It's like fussy cutting. You have to like to be able to just sit and kind of do something for a little while. This in particular took me the course of, I'd say 4 days, give or take, maybe a week here and there. The best way I find to do it is to go and bring my stitching project down into my kitchen. I have an island and it's quite large, so I get to block half of it off where I just don't put anything that can get messy, and it's away from my stove and everything, so nothing gets on my project. And our kitchen is in the focal part of the home, so I can stand there and be stitching and watching my kids, and I'm still within the family and getting to do some things as well. So that is how I normally get this type of thing done. However, I did want to include things like this shaker pocket. So I'm just showing you here. I simply pre-poked my holes, so that took, one sitting there. And then I went back because I had poked both sheets of them, and I am using a page protector. Now, I really, really like to use 8.5 by 11 page protectors cut in half. So it's just a single layer of plastic. And then what you end up doing is you go back, you lay it out to make sure it's covering what's already been pre-poked. You lay that sheet down, you replace it with the other sheet or what have you, and then you poke the holes again. Because there's already pre-poked holes, you know exactly where you need to get everything lined up, and then it pokes the plastic and you can make your shaker pocket. I find it quick and easy. I enjoy doing it that way. I'm using up my supplies that way, and I go for it. So I'm going to use 2 mixes here. One of them is an exclusive for the Creative Cuts Club because I am a part of that. And this was back from the July mix. It had really cool, just a beautiful mix of watercolors. There's whites and teals and a little pop of pink here and there with some seashells and all of that. So I'm going to use 2 of my shaker pockets with that. And then the other 2, I'm using the September exclusive, one of the September releases. And it is called Blue Blood Red, I think. It's beautiful. It's got all these fun colors. It's got this really pretty, like, royal blue, like, bigger pieces. I do use the medium circles for one of my stitching projects, which when you get the up close, you'll see it. And I loved it. I had so much fun. And the finished look is just really neat, and it definitely says waves, and I love it. So there you have it. Okay, now I'm going to lay down these waves back on top of it. And my original idea of having a bunch of them kind of interlaced with it, now I don't want to hide all that stitching in the sequins. So I'm only going to add like 4 of them. I kind of am sparingly placing them where I want them to go. And one of them happened to fit perfectly inside one of the waves that I had done that had absolutely no sequins in it at all. And so I'm going to leave that one there, let that one be a home there, and just kind of work my way around it. Now you can see I had these other 4 photos. So part of it is because I didn't actually know where the original photo I wanted to use was on my desk. It was a little bit messy when I was creating this. The other part was I was trying to decide if I really wanted to do a beach theme. I've done a couple beach layouts already, so I was thinking maybe I could do one about my son having swimming lessons, and that's what these 2 are. I, however, decide in the end it's not giving me the right vibe that I wanted. I also need to be able to trim off this bradding strip because it is part of the 12 by 12, but I don't want you to see it, and I didn't want to put a strip of pattern paper down at the bottom, and my wave wasn't going to cover it up. So I need to trim this down and add a border, and the border I had in mind to use is seashells, so that kind of brings you back to the beach. You definitely could do a layout with it without it being beach themed, but in my mind I really wanted to go ahead and find something. So I go off camera and try to find my other photos. I did finally find it, and it is the photo you are going to see in the end. But first I'm going to try to use one of my feet in the sand, thinking that that would work. And I think if I trimmed it down a little bit, it probably would have, but it's still not the right photo, exactly what I'm looking for. And so I just give myself a moment. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down with it with the backing of the seashell. I love that nice little pop of something different there other than all the blues that you see. You can see I'm going back and forth with my photos again, thinking I can make this a swimming layout. It totally would work. And it would. I decided, no, I need to find my photo. So I went ahead and I finally found it. Now this photo is really special, and you are not going to be able to see it on camera because it's too far away. But in this photo, I happened to have caught a shot of so that's Sean and Jackson and Nora. So that's 2 of my 3 kids and Sean, and they are looking out at the water. But what you can't see is that there is an eagle that just moments before swooped down to get a fish and was taking off to fly and go eat the fish. And I don't know how I was quick enough to do it because I had my littlest in my arms, and he was like, I don't know, almost 5 months old at that time. And so I have him in my arms and I'm trying to take this photo, and I happened to catch him just before he got off the shot. And I love this. It was the coolest part of our trip to the beach this year. We go once a year for Canada Day. It's a big thing for us. And I loved it. So that is what this layout is about, is that just really awesome just who would have thought I could have caught that? So I loved it. The kids loved it. They thought that was so cool. It literally went flying over our heads when it swooped down. It was just the neatest thing ever. And basically that wraps up this layout. So I hope you enjoyed it. Give stitching sequins a try. It's a lot of fun. It is time consuming, but you definitely can do it. It's something I would highly recommend. And you can make lots of layers with it in different forms as well. And you can mix shakers with stitching sequins. So give that a try as well. There is a look at my finished layout. And if you would like to purchase some sequins yourself, you can use my code Christy15 in the shop to do so. I'll see everybody soon with another layout. Bye!